Well, hi there, soccer fans, and welcome to the greatest soccer show on earth. And with me, as usual, Budgie Byrne. And you've got to follow his tips because I must tell you, right on the mark again this weekend, Budge.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Came up with a good one.
Yeah, we did. Just a pretty Leicester dummied us at another double, but yeah, another nice week, James.
Well, Leicester, hard to follow them, not easy.
Oh, James, they've only won 2 of the last 13, and you think what they buried us the week before with Stoke, the fight that they showed, and against Everton. But defensively, they've been a nightmare. So,
well, what was interesting was that the manager, Ranieri, had a full go at Mahrez in the paper. He said he must show a little bit more interest and a little more effort, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, it's strange. Last year, everyone said he was going to Barcelona. This year, he won't be going to the reserve team, the way he's playing.
It's interesting, you mentioned earlier on another show I did with you, or that you did with Laff, that you said that he's a one-footed player, which people have worked him out.
Yeah, towards the end, people got tired, but everything was going for them last year. Good season. He is a good player, but, I don't know whether he's got the Africa Cup of Nations coming up in January in his mind, or whether he's thinking about a big move. But he's been shocking this year.
Okay, well, let's go into the results that we had. Everything went according to plan, apart from Leicester.
Yeah.
Your team, Man United, won pretty convincingly.
Yeah. We come in right. We said all along, it wasn't for the 4 home draws, we'd be right there. But
Swansea, Bradley lost his job.
Well, he shouldn't have got the job in the first place, only because the American owners invested a couple of $100 million that he got the job. I believe you've got to have experience in the league. It's not an easy league. But in saying that, 11 games, not the easiest, especially with the transfer window coming up. But they conceded 29 goals in his 11 games in charge. So if you're going to get rid of them, now's the time to do it with the January window opening.
Who do you think they're going to get?
I would take Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about Pardew going straight there. I don't know, Gary Wright from Birmingham. But there's a lot of money. If you go down now, coming straight back up, especially a club like Swansea, I don't think it's going to be that easy. I would take a dip on Hodgson.
Well, they took the other big English manager, ex-English manager, and he got a job during the week as well.
Sam's one of these guys who always gets team out of it. He knows what you got to do, and he's got to tighten up at the back. Palace, I think, have kept 1 clean sheet in the last 12 games. And you're struggling at the bottom. You can't just keep scoring to get you out of it. You've got to keep clean sheets.
Some interesting boys getting some big money in China. China seems to be the place now.
You just can't believe it. Oscar, 60 million. He's on over £500,000 a week. And the latest talk is Carlos Tevez, who's already said goodbye to Boca Juniors in Argentina. He's going to be getting £36 million a year. I worked it out. It's close on £690,000 a week. That's what he's going to be getting in China.
If he's worth that, what is Ronaldo and Messi worth?
It's frightening. But China are trying to make a statement.
Yeah.
And they've got to overpay for these players. Now the rules in China, the 16 teams, they're allowed 4 foreign players. Now one of those foreigners has to be an Asian player. And you cannot believe how many Brazilians. Of the 48 foreigners, 20 are Brazilians. Ramirez left Chelsea to went there. The Hulk was at Zenit St. Petersburg. He's gone there. You can't believe how many players. Paulinho was at Spurs. He's there. You can't believe. So the guy's quite rightly going to take the money. It's big money, so why not take it?
So does that mean if you've got to have an Asian player, it's got to be
it's got to be a Japanese,
like Honda or one of those boys,
Honda,
they're quite useful.
Yeah,
some of
South
those
Korea and some of those guys.
Yeah.
So they've got to have one of them. Yeah. That's your 4 foreigners.
Well, it's interesting to see that you got a couple playing in the EPL, like Song. I would have thought. What's
there are a few of them, but
Sandbang Song.
He came from Bayer Leverkusen, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay. What else was there that went on? Shakes got dumped as well.
Well, gross misconduct. The sponsors weren't happy with him, neither was Safa. It was inevitable he was going to get the bullet.
Okay, let's go and have a look at our lineup for this week, and we've got lots of EPL, and we start off with the first game is Hull versus Everton. Now, just my piece. I don't think Hull playing that badly. They held the big side last week for 80-odd minutes, didn't they?
Yeah, they've scored 7 goals in the last 9 league games. Now, 3 of those goals were the 3-3 draw with Crystal Palace. They just can't score goals. The centre forward that's played the last 7 games, Mbakani, he hasn't scored. So if it's not for a set piece, they're not going to score. So that's my fear for Mark Phelan. I think he's doing a good job. But if they don't get 1 or 2 players in the transfer window, I think they're gone.
Okay, so they've got a problem here. Everton are playing well.
You know, Everton struggling, they were shocking against Liverpool, but he went to a 3 centre-half system. I see there's quite a few of them following Chelsea's, that 3-5-2 system. So I think that's how he's going to play. Now, their 2 wing-backs, Baines and Coleman, are very good players, especially attacking-wise. So I fancy Everton this game. This Hull can't score.
Burnley, Sunderland. Burnley won 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, I got the 5th best home record.
Yeah,
this is going to be a scrap like you can't believe. Sunderland can't afford to get beat you. Yeah, there were certain stages against United that were very competitive. You know, it won't be an easy game. I fancy a draw in this one. It's a game both can't afford to lose.
Okay, well then the big side, they won 12 in a row now, Chelsea.
Yeah, 10 clean sheets. You know, even when it was 1-0, you know, the guy zigzags through them, Wilshere, and hit one, the keeper saved it. Yeah, going well. Just, you know, how do you stop them at the moment?
It was interesting to watch because it just looked like they make just lazy defensive errors.
Yeah.
Stoke did against the big
against
boys,
Liverpool.
You know?
Well, Shawcross 2 years ago was one of the best centre halves in the league.
Yeah.
That back pass. I don't know whether he was on the take or what he was, but they've conceded 9 goals in the last 4 games, Stoke, and that's not like them.
You're a soccer player. Sometimes when they say it's positive me, you don't know that it's not.
But you know, when you're struggling, just get it and panel beat it. Put it in the stand or somewhere. Don't try and pass it back to the goalkeeper.
Okay, our favourite side, Leicester, against West Ham.
You know, they've won 2 of the last 13 games. Now, interestingly, they've conceded 2 goals or more in 7 of the last 8 games. When I saw that, I thought, are you kidding me? You know, West Ham have come right since Andy Carroll's come back. Any
and
result,
they won their last 3.
They won the last 3. Nothing would surprise me here. I think there's plenty of goals in this one.
Okay, Man United, Middlesbrough, you should have no problems there.
Well, I think someone's going to catch 4 or 5 from us. That's no doubt. It won't be easy, you know. Middlesbrough drew at Arsenal, they drew at Man City. They're very quick players on the counter-attack. But if we get one early, I think this will be 4 or 5, hopefully.
Southampton, West Brom.
Yeah, I started off well, got a goal in the first or second minute last night. Disappointed in Southampton after that.
Yeah.
I know Spurs were in their face, but just disappointed. They can't score goals. I think they scored 4 goals in the last 5 home league games.
It seems like this is a factor as far as the EPL is concerned, is that there are very few really good strikers around, guys who can really score goals. So you get a guy like Andy Carroll, he makes a huge difference to a team.
Yeah.
You know, poachers, goals. These little teams, and a lot of them, and even Arsenal, we haven't got a striker. You haven't got someone up front there that's going to hammer them home.
You know, goals win games, obviously, and that's why you pay the big money for them. You know, Southampton, unfortunately, are a selling club, and Charlie Austin's gone down, who's their main striker.
Yeah.
So they sold Pele to China last year, and they're struggling for goals, and I think West Brom can get something out of this game.
Big Sam got a chance for Swansea. They're taking on Bournemouth.
No, Big Sam's at Palace, but
Palace,
you know, worst defence in the league. They can't win a game. They're playing middle of Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I fancy Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is the time. Bournemouth are good against these teams that try and be tactical against them, but don't get stuck into them. Yeah, they're quite organised at the back. Aki never played last week against Chelsea because he's a loanee from Chelsea. He'll be back. I think Bournemouth are a good bet to beat
Swansea. So Swansea are without a manager, actually.
Yeah, Swansea. Bob Bradley got fired during the week. Yeah.
So they got big problems. With Bournemouth on the move.
You know, nice team, play good football, and if ever there's a time you want to play Swansea, especially away from home, it's now.
Could you back them?
I've included them in my bets. Yeah.
Liverpool, Man City, big one.
Yeah, I was going to go for Liverpool, but the goalkeeper Mignolet worries me. You know, I know he pulled off the save at the first 20 minutes that kept them in the game.
I think both goalkeepers can worry you, can't they?
Geez, well, Bravo, I don't know if he's classified as a goalkeeper or not, but I can't have him. You saw against Hull, he came for the cross. He was never, luckily Sanya went on the cover and blocked it, otherwise Hull would have been 1-0 up. No, he's bad.
They call him Dracula.
Yeah. I wonder how Guardiola, what he's going to do, because I think Stones is out. Now, who's he going to play centre-half? He's got Otamendi. If he plays Kolarov as the one centre-half and plays Sanya right back and Clichy left back, Liverpool are going to be down their throats.
Yeah, they're too quick, those guys.
I fancy Liverpool here. I think there'll be a lot of goals.
Yeah.
On the other side, Liverpool at the back, they've got a bit better. But, you know, Aguero's back. And you throw him amongst that back four. It should be plenty of goals, but this is a big test for Guardiola.
Okay, Watford, Tottenham.
Jeez, you know, Watford against Palace, they should have been, the game should have been over.
Yeah.
You know, 1-0 down, the guy got a penalty. Why these guys try and be clever taking a penalty, I don't know. You know, comes sidling up and tries to side-foot it. 1-1, Watford were never in the game. They got a fortunate penalty from a corner, ball got slung in, the guys were grabbing. You saw Troy Dean, he scored his 100, just blasted it. You know, at home is what's going to save Watford. Away from home, they've been terrible. I fancy Spurs big time. Only problem with Spurs, though, you know, we had the bet yesterday, is Walker suspended, so's Vertonghen. I don't think Alderweireld's back, but I think there'll be plenty of goals in this game, but I fancy Tottenham.
It sounds like there are a lot of games that there'll be a lot of goals. The next one, there'll be a lot of goals too. Arsenal, Crystal Palace.
Well, you never know with Arsenal. You know, but one thing they have been doing is beating the bad sides. You know, Stoke, but you know, normally they draw.
Yeah.
And that's what's kept them in the top four.
So
I think they'll win. But you can't trust Arsenal. We said all season.
Okay, well, let's go on to the Championship and have a look there. We've got lots of sides there that we can talk about. Rotherham, Burton Albion.
Yeah, the first two games have been played tonight.
Yeah.
Now, Rotherham, it's like a Hail Mary. You know, they've won their last two home games, believe it or not. Now, they're 12 points from safety. Now, they're playing a team, Burton, who have only won one of the last 9 games. The team they beat was Rotherham at home. You know, I fancy Rotherham to get another result. You know, they've got to go for it. There'll be plenty of goals again. But of the two teams, I fancy Rotherham.
So you got a really good price. 17 to 10 is a great price.
Yeah.
You could actually go Rotherham in the draw.
Well, that'll work out 4-5 to 10.
Yeah. So if you want to save yourself. Aston Villa Leeds, another night game this evening.
Yeah, I think that game will be on. Now, Aston Villa won their last 5. They're unbeaten at home this season. On Monday, they beat Burton 2-1. There was 41,000 people at Villa Park.
Yeah.
So Steve Bruce has got them right. They're playing a team, Leeds, who buried my boys Preston on Monday. My mate Debbie was at the game. She says a really good team, Leeds.
Yeah.
Said they beat us first minute to the last. A really good team. She thinks they'll be close for promotion.
Okay.
I fancy Leeds of the two teams, yeah.
Okay, then we go Brighton, who are looking to get promotion as well. They're playing well, aren't they?
11 wins, 4 draws, last 15 games. It won't be easy because Cardiff under Neil Warnock have a go. Now they've drawn 3 of the last 5. You know, you've got to fancy Brighton.
Right, Ipswich, Bristol.
Well, Ipswich can't score goals. They've scored 8.
It's got to be a draw game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be. You know, they've scored 8 in the last 9 home games, Ipswich. Bristol City away from home have got 1 point from the last 7 games. You know, if ever a draw's nailed on here, both guys won't want to get beat. Yeah. And I think I might have a few rand on 0-0 here.
Yeah, well, you get 2-1 the draw, and it looks like a really a good bet.
Yeah, it's two desperate teams, James.
Newcastle and not Forest.
Newcastle got beat Monday night. I watched the first half against Sheffield Wednesday. Geez, the tackles were flying like the old days. Woke up, obviously, Tuesday morning and watched the second half. And they got beat. They've lost 2 of the last 3. They're a little bit unlucky. Had a couple of chances, should have had a penalty in the first half.
They were unlucky, weren't they?
You know, but teams go to St James Park. It's the best stadium in the championship. Big crowd, so everybody wants to play there. It won't be easy, but Nottingham Forest concede goals every week. I think they've kept 1 clean sheet in the 23 league games.
Yeah.
So if ever there's a game to get back for Newcastle, this one it should be.
Well, they're very short. 1 to 3 is a very tight price.
Yeah.
You've got to look for doubles and trebles with them. Reading, Fulham.
Best game of the weekend in the championship. You know, Reading under Yobstam, they won their last 5. You know, Fulham are going well. They've only lost 1 out of the last 9. That was at Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
Have come well. 2 teams I think will be in the playoff picture come the end of the season. Draw a big player.
So they're the 2 teams in the playoff picture. Well, then there's obviously, they've got to be 4 or 5 teams in the playoff.
There's 4 teams in the playoff, but there's normally 2 or 3 teams around there looking for the 6th spot.
Well, Newcastle and
Brighton are clear.
Yeah.
But Reading have closed the gap, and so have Leeds. And Derby are hanging in there as well.
Okay, we go on to Huddersfield, Blackburn.
Well, Huddersfield have won their last 4. We were with them the other day. That's what was part of the treble that arrived. Blackburn can't win away from home. They've lost 5 of the last 6. So you've got to fancy Huddersfield on form.
Yeah. Barnsley.
Well, Barnsley have buried us every week. We go for them, we go against them. They've won 4 of the last 5. Now, Birmingham, I watched them against Brighton, the last 15 minutes. Zola's taken over there. They've lost their last 2, but they've lost by the odd goal. They lost 2-1 to Brighton. good team, and they lost 1-0 on Tuesday night to Derby. I think this is going to be a tight game. Of the two teams, I like Birmingham. I know Barnsley are in good form, but slowly but surely they'll turn the screw. They'll get tight at the back, and this is a game. I think I've gone win and draw Birmingham here.
And then your team Preston against Sheffield. They should have no chance with Sheffield.
Well, we shouldn't but at home we're hard to beat at home. I know a couple of teams have buried it. Newcastle beat us there, and Leeds beat us on Monday. It'll be a good game, but I was impressed with Sheffield Wednesday, what I saw.
Yeah, they played well.
Slight favourites, good team.
Derby, Wigan.
Well, Derby, 8 wins and a draw, last 9 league games. Haven't conceded a goal in the last 7 home games. It's got to be Derby, easy.
Wigan started off well, didn't they?
Started off okay.
Yeah.
They've lost their last 5.
Last 5.
Can't win a game, yeah.
Just shows you how you go through. It's like life, isn't it? You go through ups and downs.
Yeah. Well, Wigan used to get players on loan.
Yeah.
United used to send a few of the youngsters there. Now, ironically, the guy that's manager was the United youth coach, Warren Joyce. But it doesn't look good for Wigan at the moment.
Wolves, QPR.
Come right, Wolves. I like Paul Lambert. He was at Aston Villa, he was at Norwich. Good manager. They've won their last 2. QPR can't win a game. Ian Holloway's gone there. They've lost their last 6. 7 or 10 Wolves looks a good bet.
And then Brentford, Norwich.
Desperate encounter. It has to be goals. Brentford have won one of the last 6 at home. Norwich have taken 1 point from the last 6 away games. 2 managers under pressure. So you know what happens. It should be tora. Attack. Should be plenty of goals in that one.
So there are a lot of games being played over the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
You can pick your sides, and there certainly look like a couple of good things that you can take doubles and triples and whatever
I
into.
think so, yeah.
Looks like that type of weekend. Right, let's go and have a look at the Soccer 6 pools, and we can start off Saturday the 31st of December.
Yep, we've done the 2 Saturday pools. Those will be the biggest 2. So we spend our customary 216 Rand. I think United and Chelsea look obvious bankers to me. Leicester, West Ham, of the 2 teams, you never know what's going to happen there. So I've gone 1, 2, 3 there, Leicester, West Ham. While I like West Brom, our perm allocates, we can take another field. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, Southampton, West Brom. I don't see Bournemouth losing to Swansea, and I don't see Liverpool losing to Man City.
I actually think Liverpool are better. I think that they'll probably beat Man City.
Yep.
A week behind. Right, then we go on to the Saturday 31st. This is international.
Yeah, it's the other Soccer 6.
Six,
mainly English this week. I've gone Burnley win and draw against Sunderland. I've gone Birmingham win and draw against Barnsley. I think Derby will be too good for Wigan. I've put 1, 2, 3, taken the easy way out with Preston, Sheffield Wednesday. I think Wolves will be too good for Queen's Park Rangers, and Brentford field job against Norwich.
You know what I find interesting is you take Soccer 6s a lot like I take pick 6s. I try and find 2 bankers, 2 fields, and a couple of horses in each of the other legs. And
I think you have to.
method.
Some of them are hard. You could banker the draw in the 1, 2, 3 game because obviously the draw is a big player.
Yeah.
But for me, I have to find 2 bankers. If you want to spend 108 Rand, well, then you find 3 bankers.
Yeah.
But I agree, you've got to look to beat a couple of teams in them. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the Saturday 31st. This is the other Soccer 6.
Soccer 10.
Soccer
we've done
10.
the 2 6s.
No, we've done the 2
10,
6s.
yeah.
I've got 3 6s on mine.
No, but we only highlighted 2.
Okay, Soccer 10. Let's go and have a look at this one, Saturday the 31st of December.
A lot of similar games. I've gone Burnley win and draw against Sunderland. I've bankered Chelsea to beat Stoke. I've gone 1, 2, 3 Leicester, West Ham. I've bankered United. Now Bolton, Scunthorpe's a League One game. Bolton have come well. They've won their last 6 home games. They're in 3rd place. Scunthorpe are top of League One. I've gone Bolton win and draw there. Second page, Oxford, Walsall. Oxford have won 6 of the 12 home games, going all right. Walsall, funny team. They've won 3 of the last 6 away games. Now, the team that's the best formed team in that league is Sheffield United. They actually were on a 15-match unbeaten run, Sheffield United, when Walsall went there and beat them 1-0. So I was going to go for Oxford, but we do have another allowance for the field, so I've gone 1, 2, 3 in that game. Southampton, West Brom, I think it'll be a draw, but I've gone 1, 2, 3 in that game. I've bankered Bournemouth to beat Swansea. Liverpool win and draw against Man City. Now Ross County, Inverness, Caledonian Thistles, a Scottish Premiership game. They both played last night. Ross County lost 2-0 at Celtic and Inverness lost 2-1 at home to Motherwell. Inverness can't win a game. They haven't won in 9. Now, I've taken the chance with Ross County. They're fair. Their form at home recently is quite strong. They beat Aberdeen, who were 3rd. They drew with Rangers, who were 2nd. And they drew with Hearts, that are 4th. So on that assumption, I've taken the chance and I've banked Ross County.
Why didn't you bank the draw?
No,
Like
Inverness are bad. The only other alternative to do that is to bank at Liverpool and go 1 and 2 with Ross County. But I think Man City will put up more resistance than Inverness.
Yeah. Okay, let's go and have a look at the Soccer 13. Now, this is going to be a very big pool. There's a big carryover into this pool.
Well, what they do, when the Soccer 13 pays a minimum amount, there's 10, 11, 12 and 13. That's how. Now, if there's no payout for the 11, if it's below a certain amount, the 20% of the pool they carry forward to next week, which I agree with.
Yeah.
So there should be a nice carryover going into this week.
Yeah, I think there's a big pool, and certainly the end of the year, and they prop up the pool, and there's all types of things going on.
And
there.
also, people know the English teams, James. When they have a few Swedish teams, it suits the Swedes, but doesn't normally suit us.
Yeah.
So in the 13, I've gone Liverpool in the draw against Man City. I've gone Burnley in the draw against Sunderland. I've banked Chelsea to beat Stoke. I've given Leicester another chance against West Ham. United banker against Middlesbrough. I've gone West Brom in the draw against Southampton. I've bankered Bournemouth. I've gone Birmingham in the draw against Barnsley. I've given Brentford home advantage over Norwich, win and draw. I've bankered Derby to beat Wigan. I've gone 2 and 3 Sheffield Wednesday in the draw against Preston.
That must have burnt you.
Yeah, but money's going down, James.
To do.
It's a 1-2-3 game, but unfortunately our perm doesn't allow it.
No, you got to do 1-2-3.
I've bankered Wolves, and I've gone 1 and 2 with Bolton.
I think you've got to go. You got to bank a Bolton and take 1-2-3. Preston North. You got to go for your team. You can't.
I get abused when my mates in Preston see it. Don't worry, when they see the show, they'll be on my case.
We'll be on your case. Right. Let's have a look at the best bets, because this is where we get the money. Right.
Well, what I've done is I've done the Premiership treble. I think Everton. I know it's a Friday night game. I think Everton will be too good for Hull. Hull just can't score. I think Lukaku will grab one. I fancy Everton. Bournemouth to beat Swansea away. I thought that was a very good price. And I think Tottenham will be too good for Watford. I know we put the bet on yesterday, so it was a bit hard. But I just think even at the back, Spurs may be a bit dodgy. But I think they'll score a couple of goals against Watford. So that worked out at 14.50 to 200. Now the second bet is a championship bet. I've backed Wolves to win. Wolves are playing QPR, so Wolves to win. I've gone Birmingham win and draw against Barnsley, and I've got Derby to win by more than 1 goal against Wigan. So it's got to be 2-0, 3-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that worked out just over 6 to 1, 12.30 to 200. Now the new bet where I go the individual teams to score over the goals. They still haven't worked out the odds yet. I've got Man United to score over 2.5. I contemplated between Man United and Chelsea. I just thought Stoke may put up a little bit more resistance in Middlesbrough, and the price was slightly better as well. Liverpool to score over 1.5 goals against Man City. I think Liverpool will score at least 2 against that defence. And I think West Brom will score against Southampton. So that worked out 13.30 to 200. It's over 6 to 1.
Got to go Arsenal over 2.5.
Well, it was, but it was 8 to 10, James. Where the others were like 11.5, 12, 13 to 10.
So you got the price.
So we went for the price, and also I don't trust Arsenal. That's the other thing. The over 2.5.
As a Man United supporter, you wouldn't, would you?
Well, at least we look like we're scoring a few more goals. The over 2.5 goal market. I've gone Brighton, Cardiff. That's on Friday. Leicester, West Ham. And I've gone Watford, Tottenham on Sunday. So 13.50 to 200. Then both teams to score. I've gone Leicester, West Ham. I think Burnley, Sunderland will be goals in that. Brentford, Norwich, and Preston, Sheffield Wednesday. 19.40 to 200.
Lots and lots of chances we have over the weekend, and certainly looks like a very good weekend to make some money.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. Soccer 13 might be worth having a full go. You might be wanting to spend a lot more than 430.
Well, yeah, I think to catch it, it's trying to eliminate the teams you don't think have a chance. There's a lot of bankers there, but it's the championship games aren't the easiest, James. There's always
I find there are a lot of draws in the championship games. There always seem to be, you find these 1-1 and 2-2 draws. I think there's goals scored, but a lot of draws. Well,
last week there was of all the teams, there were 3 teams that never scored in the 12 league matches.
Yeah. Is it not because of the way the referees now blow in the area? You can't touch a guy in the area, so it gives the strikers a lot more chances.
A little bit, but I think a lot of it has to do with the championship is more direct.
Yeah.
I know we've signed a Dane, Mikilovic, whatever. He's like 6'9".
Yeah.
Now we get just put the ball in the box. Don't try and be clever. Where the Premiership is more tactical. A lot of foreign managers don't give the ball away, keep the ball possession, that type of thing. Whereas in the Championship, the guys get a set piece. It's being launched straight into the box. So there's more goal mouth action. And obviously more action, more goals.
You've got a couple of big punters out there looking at the show, wanting to know, they want to have a bet. One bet, 50 grand or 100 grand on a bet. What would you be backing over the weekend?
Over the weekend, I've had to put money on the... Well, you can't go wrong with Chelsea, can you? 3-10. But, you know, I don't tip. I don't like those type of bets. If there was a value bet, sure, I like Bournemouth 16-10, but it's value, you know. The guys will put 3-10 Chelsea, 1-4 Man United. I think there were 6 teams the other day that all won, worked out at 28-10. I don't do those bets.
Yeah. But there are people that like doing those bets, and certainly Bournemouth in the draw looks like you'd be pretty well covered with that.
I'm a value punter, James. You know, they said I have 5 bets, want to try and get my money back. If
well, you know, the old saying going, do you want value or do you want to win?
No, sure.
There's some people out there that just want to win.
Well, the best 2 bets this season, I've listened to all the guys and all the professional punters out there. They had 2 bets. One was the Brexit vote.
Yeah.
They said there was no possibility that they were going out. And the Hillary Clinton one. So all these professional punters, or think they are, I know there's several guys in England done their lives this year on waiting for 1 or 2 bets.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, Chelsea at 3-10, that's got to be the bet.
Yeah.
1-12 in a row. That should be, if you were one man, put the salary on, it should be on Chelsea.
Gee, let's hope you have a wonderful new year, and until then, great soccer. Enjoy every bit of it.
Likewise.
There you go. Lots of action over the weekend. Should be great fun. From us to you, have a wonderful new year. Get a bit of cash. Enjoy yourself on New Year's Day, and don't miss the soccer.